right, stocks were higher today, and then they were lower. Let's find out more from what happened in this little change session from Deborah Kostroun at the NYSE. Deborah?
Well, you hit the nail on the head there, Pimm. Markets really kind of all over the map, closing virtually unchanged. We started out the day with some disappointing news that housing starts fell 10%. It was our biggest decline since March of 2009. Builders breaking ground on fewer homes in May as we saw the expiration of the homebuyer tax credit. Also not helping out was the profit outlook at FedEx. It did not meet expectations. FedEx actually the biggest drag in the S&P, down almost 6%, Pimm.
Now, Deborah, when we talk about today's market, we can't leave out what happened to BP, making a lot of news, not only in the new world of news, but also in terms of trading. The shares up, what, like a 1.5% on the close?
Right. And, you know, shares were up. We got all this news today, and mainly traders were saying that the shares were higher because we finally got a little bit of clarity. And traders always like clarity when we're talking about companies, and especially the situation with BP. Now, of course, the situation with BP, they're having to put up the $20 billion into this oil spill compensation fund. Also, a lot of talk that BP deciding to suspend its dividend payment for 3 quarters. Remember, typically BP pays about $10 billion a year in dividends, but they suspended that after President Obama and actually a lot of people in Congress kind of demanding that BP put up the cash for victims of the oil spill.
Now, Deborah, for the first time, those new trading curbs that we've all heard about, they were put into effect today for the shares of the Washington Post company. Can you give us any detail?
Well, a very interesting chart of Washington Post. If you look at it intraday chart, it was really just 3 erroneous orders that caused shares of Washington Post to double. And this happened in the last hour of trading it, making it the first stock to be halted by these new circuit breakers. Just went into effect in early June. And this was, of course, imposed because of the flash crash that we saw on May the 6th. And it seemed to work the way that regulators wanted it to, because the stock was halted and then it did resume. And we did see kind of a, as you can say, a little bit more of a normal close as we closed out. But regulators seem to be pretty happy with it, Pimm.
All right. Thank you very much, Deborah Kostroun, reporting from the New York Stock Exchange.